Hello my friends, I thought it would be good in this video to do a recap of 2022 and just kind of share what that whole year was like for me, some of the struggles. It was basically all struggle, to be honest with you. So yeah, just wanted to be real, just kind of share how the year went for me. If you're looking for a heroic video, this is not your video. Click on the next video because it's basically me just struggling. So hopefully maybe that actually gives you some encouragement that you're not alone if you're struggling and having a hard time too. So so in order to start talking about 2022, we have to talk about the end of 2021. I had left Amazon. There were some things about Amazon I didn't like. I didn't feel like I had control over my own business. So I switched from Amazon to my own website. And real quickly, if you have any questions, there came a point when I realized I would have to turn Amazon off in order for this one to work, because I had turned on my new website, but 99% of my traffic was still going to Amazon. But anyways, turned Amazon off, turned my new website on. Sales just plummeted, fell off a cliff. Did all kinds of marketing as much as I possibly could, and nothing really happened. Sales didn't pick up. And so that carried into the first part of 2022, starting off with really low sales, dumping money into marketing and whatever I can do to make it work. It was really tough. I had drained my savings account, my personal account, the backup savings account, like the really, really, really don't touch this savings account, drained that one. In 2022, I had thought about getting a job, like going out and getting like a part-time or full-time job more than any other time ever. I think I thought about quitting a couple times, to be honest. Probably the most financially challenging year of my entire life, even compared to my 20s when I was just stupid and irresponsible. Like, this one was just tough. Very difficult, strain on the marriage too. As a husband, I want to be able to provide and give my wife freedoms, but I'm having to like tighten up all the bolts, and it's like, all right, we're gonna have to tighten spending here and tighten spending here. And having that desire to want to give, but then not being able to, being frustrated with myself because I can't really bring in more money. So it's just a tough year overall. Starting in June, I started, because I was slow, I'm like, I gotta figure out some other product to sell. People were asking, I guess I don't really have one by me I could show. I should have thought about that. But these plexiglass window inserts, if you're venting, let's say, fumes from a laser cutter out the window, you don't want to stick a piece of cardboard or wood in the window. I custom make plexiglass window inserts for exhaust venting purposes. So I started selling those. I didn't really want to at first, but I'm like, I need money. So I started selling those. And then summer, I got hit with a lot of orders from people venting the floor standing portable air conditioners out the window. So thankfully that kind of helped keep me afloat a little bit. Otherwise I really would have had to go get a full-time job. Ended up buying this guy, which is a ZenBot CNC router. 4x8, and this guy is really going to help me grow the window insert side of the business. So I didn't have money to buy this, but I did have a fancy $5,000 vacuum former that was just sitting around. So I sold that for $5,000 and bought this for $5,000. So it's kind of an even trade. But speaking of selling things, I've sold probably about everything that I could possibly sell, both personally and kind of business stuff. I feel like I don't really have a cool, sexy shop to show in the background anymore for YouTube videos. That was kind of a pride of like, hey, I got a cool background. I had tools hanging up all over. I've sold a lot of stuff. Both one of all this stuff that I had wasn't really serving my business, and then two, I just needed money. So I started selling stuff on Facebook Marketplace like crazy. Had a brand new DeWalt table saw, a nice 12-inch rigid miter saw, all kinds of different stuff. I just went on kind of a selling spree because I needed money pretty bad. But I kind of came to this part mid-year, and it was kind of this theme. I mentioned it in the previous video, or this kind of the phrase that came to my mind was what I want versus what my business needs. And so I've never really had the correct tool for the job. So when I made money, I'm like, I'm going to buy nice tools. So I'll always have the right tool for the job, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that for sure. But earlier on last year, or kind of mid to late last year, I was kind of calling all my tools to account. Everything in the shop, I was kind of calling them to account. And it's like, all right, brand new DeWalt table saw. What is it that you actually do for Martinson Manufacturing? And most tools I asked that question to couldn't give me an answer. They had no purpose in really my business. They were just kind of personal tools that I wanted to have. And so because they had no purpose in my business, I just got rid of them, sold them. I really wanted to just kind of boil down and just really get rid of stuff that's not related to my business and make it Martinson Manufacturing. There was too much Joe in this space, and I really wanted to just be focused on my business, Martinson Manufacturing. Kind of like if you were to go into a place of business, there's not going to be all your personal stuff. It's just you only have the tools you need for the particular job that you're doing. So I kind of got into that mode and kind of went psycho with that, sold everything, or a lot of stuff. But it was really a good thing for me to think about, because I had so many personal things and I had always invested money back into my business, but I feel like I invested in the wrong things. I just kind of bought things that I wanted rather than investing it in things that would actually move the business forward and grow sales. And so I've seen that now. Probably the biggest change that I've done, this is actually kind of spilling into the new year, but I kind of had a Ender 3 exorcism. So I've had a total of 29 Creality machines. I don't know, one was a CR10, I still have that. Ender 5, I sold that I think 2 days ago. But then I've been just unloading Ender 3s left and right. And I've been switching to the bamboo printers. I have 6 P1Ps at the moment, and then 1 X1 carbon with the fancy AMS doohickey that I haven't even used yet. But anyways, I think I shared in a previous video, if I could do it over again, man, I'd grown the business. It started, Ender 3s helped me start the business and grow the business. But then I kind of got to this plateau point where half of my time is just maintenancing over 20 Creality machines that keep on having issues. And I felt like I couldn't really grow anymore. And so, you have one of those days where it's like this printer keeps failing for the 10th time and you're like, all right, I've had enough. I'm whipping out the credit card, buying some Bamboo Lab 3D printers, and I'm selling all of you on Marketplace. So I kind of snapped. I really tried to make the Ender 3s work, and then I realized, like, what the heck am I doing? This isn't a hobby. This is my full-time job. My income is dependent on these machines working. And I really don't like being dependent on a cheap $200 machine. A quick note about Ender 3s. If you have a hobby, totally fine. Use an Ender 3, it's great. If you're starting a business, great. If you're maybe starting to get some traction, if you're doing, I don't know, maybe 20 to 30 sales a week, probably still good. But if you're doing this as a full-time job, 3D printing, you might want to invest in something a little nicer, more like $1,000 range, maybe like a Prusa Mark III, or the Bamboo Labs look really promising, which is what I've switched to now. So far they've been really great. I'll give a review later on after I get some time behind the wheel on those. But that's been a huge thing that I've shifted on, realizing I'm done with these printers, not using them anymore. I need something a little bit more lasting, a little more robust, something that's designed more for business. So I wish I would have made that switch earlier, but I made that switch now. So Another note just about struggling to make ends meet financially. Yeah, I applied to a couple jobs this year or last year. It's February 2023 now. Applied to a couple jobs, reached out to a recruiting company. Nothing ever came of it. They all wanted full time, and I just kind of wanted to do part time. The full time ones I just wasn't interested in. The thought of going back to like a cubicle kind of scares me to death, to be honest with you. But yeah, I got to a place where it was just, I just need money. I think I forgot to tell you, but March of last year, I returned to Amazon because I just couldn't financially hang on. And I just didn't have the luxury of being picky. So I returned to Amazon. But when I came back to Amazon early in 2022, sales didn't just go back to where they were. I had all this great momentum, lost it. And then when I came back to Amazon, it was just kind of like a little blip. And it's just been so ever slow, like kind of, upward trajectory, but not quite enough to pay the bills. So yeah, really thinking about going back to the workforce. I thought about that so many times. Again, I said I applied to a couple different places. Nothing wrong with that. You got to do what you got to do. I'm kind of glad that it didn't work and I was able to kind of make things work somehow. I don't even know how I was able to squeak by. Yeah, thought about just quitting. I mean, you have a hard year. I'm kind of glad I got a hard year because it's just good experience. My first 2 years were very uncommon. I just had great success. The first 2 years I had over $100,000 in sales and we're very comfortable. But it's one-sided. I haven't seen the whole picture. I've only been doing this my third year. I don't really have the wisdom to say, yep, I know the ups and I know the downs. I only knew the ups, but now I'm acquainted with the downs and can kind of relate and speak to that a little bit now. But good experience overall. I hope I'm done with the slow year. I hope 2023 is great. I have really just great plans and just great vision for really expanding my product offerings. I only had just a few products for the last 3 years, but I really plan on just grow and expand. I think these new printers are going to help me do that. What else was I going to say about quitting? The entrepreneurial journey, it can be tough. It's not really for the faint of heart. You got to have a crazy work ethic. You got to be a little crazy yourself. Maybe you're the type where everything's working great, but I think for the most of us, it can be really challenging. The last roughly 3 years, I don't think I've worked less than 12 hours a day, six days a week. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done. It's really hard if you're working from home to make the separation between work and personal life. I struggle with that a lot. I feel like you're just always working. Last year, more than ever, I was just really thinking about, man, it would be nice to like clock out and just leave all that work stuff at work and come home and just be a husband and a father and just, I don't know, an individual and do your own thing. And so just the idea of clocking out really appealed to me. I'm just like, man, that would be really nice. I think if I can try and get my business stabilized and a little more kind of self-sustaining, instead of just working relentlessly to try and build it back up so it's actually producing income again. That's why I'm putting so much work into it. But hopefully if we get some momentum, I won't have to put in so many hours. But yeah, it's just a crazy tough journey if you're crazy enough to try it yourself. It's not as sexy as maybe what other YouTube videos out there might show that it is. Hopefully I haven't conveyed it as this kind of bed of roses sexy thing. It's really fun when it goes well and really challenging when it doesn't. But hopefully some of this was an encouragement to you. The best little cherry on top, icing on the cake is mid-December. My wife and I, we brought our second child into the world, our daughter, Evelyn. I've always wanted a daughter. Our firstborn, Jack, he's almost 2 years, and now we had Evelyn. So she's, a couple months now, almost. So that was really kind of the sweet icing on the cake, kind of the double for our trouble, for just an exhausting, difficult year. And then we got this beautiful, precious little girl into the world. So that just kind of helped us forget about everything, and all the difficulty of the year just kind of just went away, seeing this precious little beautiful face. So yeah, really excited about 2023 though. I really think it's going to be a good year. Just expanding. I just want to go ballistic. But I also want to temper myself, because I have a habit of running myself into the ground and just exhausting myself because I'm just going too hard. But really just want to embrace this this niche that I am in, of creating exhaust venting solutions and being more custom. I'm also towards maybe third quarter, I want to start offering 3D printing services. I haven't made that known. I've done a few jobs for people here and there, but I'm hopefully going to get some things more kind of automated, get 3D printing business back up to hopefully where it was, release a lot more products for a lot of different more machines, get my window insert business a little more kind of self-sustaining, and then hopefully start offering 3D printing services, which I'm really excited about. And now that I have a printer that just does what it's supposed to do, I have a lot more confidence to take on a job from a client, even if it's under a tight deadline, because I know I'm going to have a printer that's going to perform. Yeah, who knows? Hopefully these machines, the Bamboo Labs, don't break after 3 months. I'm about a month or two in, but really promising, really excited to just do this business over again and grow it with nicer quality machines. So I think that'll be about I think that'll do it for now. I hear my little boy crying upstairs, so I'm gonna go be a husband, be a father to my little ones, and I'll catch you soon.